But I think that just, I don't know, Buffalo is just riding the wave right now based off emotions, Lamar Hamlin. So I think they got this. I don't see it.
We're going to get into that.
Let's jump right in. Hey, what up, everybody? What's going on? Tuesday night, we are back on the hook. I got my man Smitty, my man Kev. Kev, what's going on?
What's going on, boys?
Smitty, holla.
Everyone.
Holla.
Happy to be back, man. It's been a while.
Holla.
It's been a while, right?
Let's get after it. Yo, in the 2 weeks that we've been gone, couple 2-3 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. A lot of things have happened. We got spring training knocking on the door. We had the Super Bowl finish with the Kansas City Chiefs as the most recent NFL champion. We can get a little bit into that. And yeah, maybe some Jordan Montgomery possibilities in Boston. Caitlin Clark is breaking records. Cam Newton is fighting against at his youth football 7-on-7. Richard Sherman got arrested. I mean, hey, what the hell else is going on? RJ dropping 42 last night for the Heels. So, Listen, man, we're back on the hook. We live. If you're joining us now or joining us later, please make sure that you drop a comment, question. And if you're not following us yet, please go over to our Facebook page, The Hook Sports, Instagram, IG, The Hook Sports. Our TikTok at Hook Sports, at The Hook Sports 860, and on YouTube at The Hook Sports. So, with that being said, boys, let's jump right in. Smitty, give me something, man. Give me something right off the top of your head, something that you think over the past couple weeks has really got you, something you might want to get off your chest or something you just want to talk about. Let's talk about it.
Bro, right now, watching my Knicks right now, struggling without Brunson or Hartenstein, playing the New Orleans Pelicans. Injuries, man. Injuries are just waiting on Randall to get healthy, OG to come back. Yeah, Brunson got hurt last night. That was a tough game against the Pistons. And I don't know if you guys watched the game, but I think the Knicks got lucky with that game, the last call. The Knicks ended up winning. But like you said, I mean, there's brighter days ahead. Hopefully Randall will come back 100%. OG will come back, and Brunson's injury is not that significant. So we shall see.
Hey, you know what? You brought up the NBA, and Kev, I'm going to let you jump on this in a second here. You brought up the NBA, and we were off for a couple of weeks, and we missed the NBA All-Star Weekend. I made a post on my own personal page about how I am not okay with the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's a complete disaster. It's a shit show. The product sucks. It might be the worst All-Star. It's not the worst because the NFL, the Pro Bowl might be the absolute worst. The NBA is complete trash. The dunk competition was a disappointment. The three-point contest, I thought that was kind of cool. Even though Cat kept stepping on the line, he didn't deserve to be in the final. If you step on the line, it doesn't count. They let it slide, fine, whatever. The coolest thing about the entire weekend, because the East versus the West, or LeBron versus Giannis, whatever the hell they did these days, was complete trash. They don't play defense. They scored 200 points. What is the point of playing the game? If you guys want to go and dunk, be real men like they were back in the 90s and join the dunk competition. Like Larry Bird in the three-point competition. You want to show off your ability, okay? That's what it's for. All-Star Weekend. Show off your ability. Don't be slugs. Got a bunch of slugs in the NBA. Don't play defense. All-Star game was trash. Did I say that? Garbage. Anyway, the Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph Curry, that was cool. Other than that, complete disaster. Not a fan. Kev, you want to comment on that?
No, I'm with you, man. I think the dunk contest is atrocious. And I think that I think it's easy to look back to your generation when it comes to sports. I think we all do it. I think that's why kids are defensive about players today. It's their people they grew up with. We grew up with Michael Jordan. But I don't remember, was it from Kobe retiring on what is going on where these guys don't actually compete against each other? Like
Mhm.
the All-Star games used to be insanely competitive. These dudes wanted to beat each other, just like they wanted to play against each other and beat them. And it's just a mess. And the dunk contest, to me, I hate to get on this tangent, but I'll just say it quick. I blame LeBron because, like, I know they talked about it on TV last week or whatever, but I do blame LeBron
Why?
because he's the first one that acted too good to do this.
Okay, fair.
And with his ability to dunk, and then he teases everybody by getting in Bronny James's layup lines and throwing down crazy dunks. It's like I would have loved to see him in the dunk contest. I'd love to see some of these guys that do it. And I just the All-Star game has just become a disaster. I'm with you.
Yeah, I agree. Smitty, what's your take?
Yeah, I'm on board with you guys. I mean, I think whatever sells nowadays, that's what they're gonna sell. You know what I mean? So if the people are still paying for tickets, it's a business. You know what I mean? Not that I agree with it, but like Kev said, as far as our generations, I don't remember it being this bad. You know what I mean? Because I remember Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan coming through, Kobe Bryant, and us actually engaging and appreciating the game of basketball. But nowadays, it's more like, there is no competition. There is no defense or anything like that. But I think that's what people appreciate nowadays, the younger generations. That's what they appreciate, offense. Whoever scores the most points, no defense. As far as the dunk contest is concerned, I'm on board with Kev. I don't know if LeBron James is the only one to blame, but that's what they got. Again, that's the system. They created it, and that's what sells nowadays. So it's a business.
Yeah, but don't you think there'd be eyeballs on that TV to see LeBron dunk? Like, I'm not trying to make this into a debate because I feel you. I get it. I think we're all on the same page. But for somebody like I screw at LeBron a lot. I make fun of him a lot. It's easy to do for me. I think there's been plenty of times that he's put the ball on the tee, and I think his fan base is brutal. But I'm glad that I appreciate how great he's been and for as long as he has been. And it's a compliment to him. I'm not crapping on him for once. And I'm being honest. Like, dude, I'd love to see what an athlete. We saw Vince Carter. We remember Jordan and Wilkins and stuff. And I just think for the fans, like, he could have done it once for the fans. Kobe did it.
I agree. Probably like 10 years ago. Now he's what, 38, 39?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Just think it would have been like must-see TV to see him, whether you love him or hate him. Like, it's a compliment to him is what I'm saying. So
Listen, there's nothing more that the fans want to see than to watch the best dunkers dunk and the best shooters shoot. And you know what? Steph Curry stepped up to the plate. He went against a female, by the way, Sabrina Ionescu, who is an absolute stud.
Dude,
and for
so good.
him, like, you know what? This guy's the greatest shooter that we've ever seen. We'll never see anybody as great as Curry, I don't think.
Right.
And to him to put that reputation on the line shows the kind of competitor that he is. Like, Steph Curry's legit, man. And I got the utmost respect for Steph Curry. It's not his first time in the three-point competition. I think he's won it twice, if I'm not mistaken. But to go against, a WNBA player and potentially lose, by the way, she tied everybody else.
Yeah, dude, she can ball.
No, she's legit. And honestly, girls have that nice, like the women, they got a nice stroke.
She worked with Kobe.
She did. She was part of, she did. She was a Kobe disciple. You know what I mean? By the way, shout out to Rebel. What's up, brother? Tough one for the Bruins last night, but he says Larry never even took off his warm-up jacket and won.
He did. That's true.
It's a thing. Larry Legend is a legend for all of the reasons and then some. By the way, I don't know if you guys caught that, but there was a interview with Larry, and who knows how long ago it was. Basically, he was saying that how he lost his competitive edge once Magic Johnson retired. Did you guys happen to catch that at all?
I did hear that.
I heard about it.
Like, you know what? That's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? To just see, like, it's almost kind of like losing your partner. you lose your partner and they're gone forever, and you lose a part of your life. Like Larry Bird actually lost a part of his life when Magic Johnson retired.
Yep.
That's pretty deep, honestly, in my opinion, to know that it affected him that much that he couldn't get up for the games. That's how great that Lakers Celtics rivalry was.
Oh, dude, that rivalry was amazing. And remember, and I say this all the time, and young people get all butthurt about it. Pre-back injury, Larry Bird was the best small forward I've ever seen, and
Really?
he just was. I mean, he was really like a stretch four in today's game, and because he wore short shorts, looked goofy, and is white, and people have no idea how good pre-back injury. This is a guy that won 3 straight MVPs and went to 3 straight finals and won 2 finals MVPs. This dude was awesome, competitive. We talk about Mahomes and Brady and Jordan and Kobe. Larry Bird was as competitive as it got. So I just, what a legend. But that's crazy. He lost that drive once the guy that he wanted to beat, the guy that those series, once that ended, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, Smitty, let me ask you this question. As we're talking about the Lakers and the Celtics, and obviously it's 2-1 right now, Yankees versus Red Sox on this show, me being the solo dolo Red Sox fan. In comparison to the greatest rivalry in sports, and Kev, you might even be able to chime in on this as well, being a North Carolina guy, the greatest rivalry in sports that we've witnessed, is it Lakers Celtics? Is it Red Sox Yankees? Is it North Carolina Duke?
Michigan, Ohio State.
Michigan, Ohio State. Smitty, where would you put the Lakers Celtics rivalry as far as like one of the greatest in sports ever? Is it the greatest?
I mean, you got to remember. I mean, we're talking about. I was like in middle school when Magic and Larry Bird were going up against each other.
Yeah.
So it was one of the greatest rivalries to me. However, I guess it all depends what your number one sport is. Like Kev said, Michigan, Ohio State.
No, that's not mine, but that just cleaned up all the different sports. Go ahead.
Got you. I love baseball. So I'll always say Yankees, Red Sox.
Okay.
You following me? But I'm not saying that is for everybody. I'll always say Yankees, Red Sox. However, Lakers, Celtics, of course, that's one of the greatest rivalries also.
Greatest in basketball.
And depending what region you're from too. Because, somebody in the West Coast can say, a baseball fan, they can say Dodgers, Giants, San Francisco Giants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest here. We got major markets in the world, right? Or in the country. And we have Boston, we have New York, and we have Los Angeles, right? Luckily enough for Ohio State and Michigan, they get to fall into this. Probably same with North Carolina, Duke. But everything else is kind of just they're just there.
Right.
But they're really not, they're not in the market. They are not, franchises are spending money, and it's either Boston, New York, or LA. So, I mean, I guess I would have to say it's got to be Lakers, Celtics, or Red Sox, Yankees ahead of the college sports, only because North Carolina, obviously huge market in that area. But it's not.
It's a brand. North Carolina and Duke are brands. The reason that I would say probably the Celtics, Lakers, and I'd put that along with like the college teams play every year. And the North Carolina Duke game 9 out of 10 times delivers every time. Like there's very few times that both teams or one of the teams stinks. So they're all, but in terms of like, just in history, in the NBA, obviously we know what it is, but to me, Yankees, Red Sox, and baseball is not even my first sport, but to me, Red Sox, Yankees is just always different to me. Like I'd put that above all of them, my opinion, because they play every year. And when both teams are good, it's awesome. Awesome.
Agreed.
And I just think in the Celtics, Lakers, like, they don't match up in the finals as much as they once did when we were growing up. So I think when they do, it's special, but to me, the summer starts when the Red Sox and Yankees play, and I've always enjoyed that. And you know how big of a Carolina fan I am, so that's what I would say.
So listen, I while we're still in the NBA, right?
Yes, sir.
While we're in the NBA, I have a question. The last time the Celtics were 45-12, I think they've won 10 in a row so far, was back in 2008. And that was with KG, Paul Pierce, Rondo, and Ray Allen, right? Yeah. This year, they're 45-12. How far do you think the Celtics will go this year?
They're going to go to the NBA Finals.
I think they're going to go to I think they're unless they get a major injury down the stretch, and I hope they don't, knock on wood, I think the Celtics are going to the finals.
Yeah. I don't even think that's a stretch. Like, who's going to compete with them? I don't think the Bucks have it together. Doc Rivers hasn't really started.
You know what? I think that team has the talent. I just don't think they have the chemistry.
I agree. And they play terrible. They're like Kentucky in college. They play no defense.
Yeah.
None. Like, they play all-star game defense.
No, you're right. I mean, you got the Miami Heat potentially. You know, they might
sleep on them. You're right.
Jimmy Butler always, he always steps up. And he steps up when he needs to. I mean, Embiid's been out, so you got to cancel out the Sixers. They're not.
I agree.
Unless he comes back in time, right? He could come back in time and potentially lead to something. And then you got Smitty's team over there. You got the New York Knickerbockers.
They can compete. I don't think they'll beat the Celtics in 7, Smitty. I want to know what you say. But if the Knicks get healthy, at the right time, and Randall's Randall, and their chemistry is okay, why can't the Knicks at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Right?
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I mean, they went out, they got Alec Burks. They did a couple of, Bogdanovich.
He's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a good shooter off the bench.
Yeah. All those Euros.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be tough.
They're not only stepping, they can shoot.
Why wouldn't the Lakers try to make a move for a guy like B? Like, why wouldn't they do that? Like,
You're right.
I'm not trying to veer off. I just that was a great move by the Knicks, but why would you not put another shooter around LeBron? It's not like we traded much to get him. But whatever.
Right. You're right. Yep. I think the Knicks, if they're healthy 100%, can they compete with the Celtics? Absolutely. The Celtics are built differently. They're a powerhouse, but you know what? I'm still going to go with my team. So, yeah, I see the Knicks beating the Celtics. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, hey, nothing like a homer pick while we're at it.
Dude, we've seen weirder things happen. We see the Heat in the finals all the time, and we never think they're gonna. So you just never know.
No, I respect it, but let's be honest here. It's still the Knicks, right? At the end of the day, they're still the Knicks until they're not the Knicks. So I'm happy for the Knicks fans. I'm not. It's one New York team I don't hate.
Mm-hmm. It's because they've been bad for so long.
No, you can't hate on a bad. I don't hate the Jets either. I don't. You can't hate the Jets. I don't hate the Mets, although they beat us in the World Series, but I still don't hate them.
I can't stand.
There's only 2 teams I can't stand, honestly, the Yankees and the Giants. We already know that. There's no sugarcoating. But, we're talking about the NBA in the East and where the Celtics could lead, and if anybody's going to challenge them, who could it be? One team we haven't mentioned yet right now sitting in second place in the East is the Cleveland Cavaliers. A Donovan Mitchell-led Cleveland Cavaliers. And, you look at that team, and it's kind of like, where did these guys come from? Obviously, we know, I think it's Evan Mobley.
He's a stud.
The big kid from USC. I think he's in his 2nd or 3rd year.
Yeah.
Top draft pick for the Cavs. But Donovan Mitchell, I mean, they pretty much obviously ride on his shoulders. That dude can chuck the ball around. Like, he likes to shoot. Spider. He loves to shoot. The question, and a couple of the viewers right now, if you have any insight on this, please let me know what you think. But do you think Donovan Mitchell can legitimately lead a franchise into the NBA Finals, let alone, compete in the NBA Finals. I'm not so sure about that one. Smitty or Kev, do you have anything on Cleveland as far as being like a legit contender? By the way, they are the number 2 seed right now. So
Smitty?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, like you said, Spider's a great talented player. However, last year when they played against the Knicks held them down. They once you apply defense on him, you apply pressure on him. I think that Cleveland, their bench is not as deep as Boston's or even New York, if New York is healthy. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I don't think Cleveland is built like that.
And they're young too, Smitty. Like there's still a young group. I know Mitchell's great. And they're not, for being the 2 seed, they're like not talked about at all, which I'm sure is motivation. But I think they're, who's the other guard? Gilliard?
No, Garland. Darius Garland.
Darius Garland. He's a really good player.
Yeah,
See,
I averaged 17, 18 a game.
Some of these guys, like, it's hard, obviously they're good. But if one of those guys like goes nuts in a series, I mean, a lot of things can happen, but I still think it's Celtics, and I truly feel when healthy, it's the Knicks in the East. I really do, but I'm just not sure Boston with those 2 studs are gonna. Tatum's really good. Not sure that they're gonna lose.
You said 2, bro. Don't downplay the Celtics like they only got 2 studs. I think
Brown and Tatum are like the guys, though.
They have, I'm gonna say 4 on the court, if not
Holiday's
5. Always Holiday and Porzingis, and then then you sprinkle in a little bit of Derek White. Yikes! Celtics are dangerous. They're good. Honestly, I would not be surprised if they win the whole thing. So, hey, what do we got left? Right now we've played. So we just got past the All-Star break. 2 weeks past a week past the All-Star break. 37, 47. Yeah, we played about 50, 56 games. So we're pretty much, 60% of the way done. We got 30 games left, give or take. A couple games, 82 game season.
30 something, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, we'll say we got 30 something games left. Celtics they're the team, man. I think they're the team. I was excited for Dame, won the 3-point competition again. Much props to Dame time. Love Dame. Big Dame fan. You know that. I love Dame. Dame was the one loyal dude for years until he jumped ship to go play for the Bucks. At some point, you know what? You got to count your losses, man. If the franchise doesn't want to get you back, you got to go. It was time to go. But at least he gave it a good run, and I respect that.
He did, and he's a great scorer. He's just tiny, and that hurts him on defense.
Yeah, he got to get it. He got to just get it going, man. He's got to get it going. I don't think he's been putting everything into it because he hasn't been shooting that well. Yeah. He's kind of been slipping a little bit, and Kev, I left you on the screen for so long right there, to be honest with you, because you got on that shoulder shirt like you were doing shrugs for hours today. You know what I mean? Like how many packages did FedEx get you with today?
I didn't have that many today, but I've been doing a lot of push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that.
That's what's up, Kev.
You got a loaded truck, kid. Holla, where's Lou at? Let me talk to Lou real quick. Yo, give him a light low once in a while, Lou. My guy got a podcast to do.
We got to get him in here.
Yeah, get him on. You're the connect. Make it happen.
I'll make it happen.
We'll send him a link. Listen, we're talking about the East. Let's move it over to the West while we're on this basketball talk. I love basketball. My favorite sport. I just hate that the NBA sucks so much.
I know, I do too.
It is such a shit game. They don't they shoot so good. Yeah, no shit. If I was wide open and I shot 1,000 shots a day, I'd be pretty freaking good too. But you know what? I'm not, because you got to be good all the way up through to get there before you get on vacation and get wide open jumpers. Anyway.
I wish guys just played defense like they used to.
Come on, make the game good. That's why college basketball is the shit.
Yeah, March Madness coming up. You talk about the Western Conference, though. That Western Conference is kind of loaded.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Honestly,
do you think the Lakers are going to get in? Are they doing this stuff?
I think they'll get in.
I do too.
I think they'll get in, but I don't see them going far.
I hope they don't. I don't want to see the Lakers in. Who wants to see the Lakers in? Because you know what's gonna happen when the Lakers get in. The referees are gonna get in there too, and everyone's gonna be on LeBron. And I'm all set. Like, LeBron, your time is done. Your job is done. Get out. It's that simple for me. I'm done with that guy.
I'll tell you right now, if they traded him to the Knicks, I'd be the biggest LeBron fan ever.
Are you serious?
I would root for it. Colors matter more than the player.
No, sir.
Are you shitting
I
me?
would be all, if LeBron got traded to the Knicks at the deadline, I would be all in.
Okay, Smitty. Are you on board for what Kev's saying right now?
Come on now.
You
know
would be
better than that.
Yeah, you're a big no. You're a hell to the motherfucker.
No. Bro, listen, I've been a Knicks fan forever, bro. I'm not about to sell my soul to the devil.
I am.
Or no LeBron James. I'm going to talk. Listen, I'm going to, as a fan, as an NBA fan, as an NBA fan, I'm going to talk smack about LeBron James all this time.
Yep.
And I'm going to, an asterisk after my Knicks, talking about they only won because of LeBron James. No, thank you.
I just want to win.
Kev's over there. Selling his soul to the devil, sounding like a goddamn politician right now, Smitty.
It's been a long time for the Knicks. A long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're letting everybody come in right now, Kev. You ain't stopping nobody from coming in.
I know. I just want to win.
We got MS-13 crossing the border. Kev's like, come on, let's go. As long as you're playing for my team, we good.
Can you make a foul shot? Yeah.
Don't chop my head off. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. Listen, so the West, right? You talked about the West, the Clippers.
Yeah, they're
Clippers
tough.
Are a good team.
Real good. Real good.
Can we talk about the Clippers, though? Can we talk about the Clippers?
Dude, they're nasty.
The Clippers, by the way, and I like what they did with this whole Kawhi Leonard thing, the Kawhi Leonard rule, I call it, or the LeBron rule, or, hey, how about your all-stars just play X amount of game rule? Kawhi being back and being healthy and seeing how much better the Clippers are, Kawhi is the most important player on the NBA, in the NBA. If you want to pick an MVP, and don't get me wrong, you got the Joker in Denver. Yeah, if he loses, if the Joker gets hurt, Denver's done. If Kawhi gets hurt with Westbrook, with PG-13, the Clippers are done. Kawhi Leonard is such an important piece to that Clippers team, and the success that the Clippers are having this year is 100% all on Kawhi being healthy, being available, being on the court. And if Kawhi gets deep into the playoffs, watch out for the Clippers. They are going to be a team that nobody's going to want to play because Kawhi is going to put that entire team on his shoulders, and he's going to make it happen. That's just what he's.
Dude, I was going to say the same thing though about Kawhi. You stole my thunder. I mean, when he's missed so much time that I think people have forgotten how special he is.
Oh, so good.
He is so good. He could carry that team right through the playoffs if he's healthy. And the other thing is that I think has really helped the Clippers is James Harden's ability, at least from the offensive side of the game, to be selfless, the pick and pop. He's passing the ball at a really good clip. His unselfishness and Russell Westbrook's unselfishness to just say, I will come off the bench. It just looks like it's working. And I thought that was going to be a train wreck with those personalities, but it really looks like it's working. And when you got all these dudes on the same page, healthy, and they care, watch out.
You're right.
It's maturity. Honestly, when you break it down, it's the maturity level of James Harden and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Paul George has had it, and shame on me for not mentioning the beard. But that's the most important two. The most important pieces there are the two that they added in Harden and Westbrook.
Yeah.
Because Westbrook is that annoying player that can get on the court and he can penetrate. And as long as he doesn't take those stupid shots,
right.
You know, he's not a good jump shooter. He's not good, but he can dish, he can score, he's a slasher, he is high energy, and
He can rebound.
he can rebound. No, I mean, listen, let's be honest. He's Mr. Triple Double, or
Yeah,
was
dude.
Mr. Triple Double. When you average 2 seasons of a triple double, you are Mr. Triple Double. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So, yeah, that's the scariest team for me if I looked at the Western Conference. And I'm saying NBA Finals, right? I say the Celtics, NBA Finals, Conference Finals, NBA Finals, right? I'm just saying. Did I say NBA Finals earlier? I should have.
No, you did.
All right, I just want to make sure. If anyone's going to challenge the Celtics, I think that the Celtics' toughest challenge will be the Clippers, without a doubt.
Do you remember who your pick was last year?
The Bucks.
Yeah,
it was the Bucks. I got excited. So, and I'm cool with you.
You got excited. You got excited.
I'm cool with you bringing that up, Smitty. I'm cool with it. I'm not going to get hot. All right,
I know you're not going to get hot. Listen, if it was a lie,
wow.
But I'm going to keep it a buck, right? I'm going to keep it a buck. I got excited when the Bucks got Dame time.
Yeah.
I thought it was Dame time. I thought it was game over, right?
Me too.
And that was when the Celtics got rid of Marcus Smart. And I'm like, oh, you just got rid of the most important piece of the Celtics, in my opinion, as far as like the energy, the guy that gets a team up. That's what Marcus Smart was. He was the defense. You got rid of him. And then the Bucks went out and they got Dame. And I'm like, all right, well, guess what? Move over Boston. Here comes Milwaukee. But then what happens? What does Boston do? Not only did they get Porzingis, they went out and they got Drew Holiday. Yikes. Guess what? Let me reel back in what I said a little bit. Let me reel that back in. I fucked up. I was wrong. Celtics are definitely
that was your prediction though.
No, you said it.
That was before. Yeah, but 100%. I'm not gonna take it back. I'm not not that guy. I'm not that guy. I said it. But then things changed.
Listen,
things changed.
So you got the Timberwolves. What do you guys think about the Timberwolves?
They're really good. Yeah, people again, another team because they're out west and it's Minnesota that people probably don't watch over here much.
Forget about
but Anthony Edwards is an absolute nightmare. I mean, he will jump over your head. And he seems to be one of these young, like thick, competitive, like leaping dudes. And Towns is always steady. And
Cat is good, yeah.
They're very good. They're very, very good. The Thunder are very good. You see Holmgren is starting to come into form. I always liked him coming out. You can't count out Denver. I mean, the West is loaded.
If we had to compare Anthony Edwards to any player right now in the NBA, who would you compare him to? I got mine already. Who?
I have no. Go ahead. Tell me yours.
I would compare him to like a Kawhi Leonard type of player.
He's built weird.
Oh, you talking about like when he played for San Antonio, Kawhi Leonard?
It don't matter who he played for. Kawhi's Kawhi no matter where he's at. I don't think Kawhi's changed his game.
No, not changed his games, but I think he was more durable when he was in San Antonio.
In his younger years. This is Anthony Edwards, what, third or fourth year in the league?
Yeah.
Third year?
Yep.
How many seasons has this dude played?
He hasn't been in the league that long.
He hasn't been in the league that long, but he's
22 He's 22 years old. He's probably been in the league for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. At least 3, I would say. But he's built thick. He's not tall. Like Kawhi's like 6'7", 6'8". He's 6'4". So I'm trying to figure out somebody that he's just such a good leaper. He's not a great shooter, but he's not a horrible shooter. But he doesn't play like Barkley, but he's kind of built where like he's shorter, but he's thick and strong, but he's bouncier. He's hard to compare. Very hard to.
He's been in the league since 2020.
Listen, they're both 2.25. They're both 2.25, so they're both men, right? They're both men. They're both solid. I just feel like Anthony Edwards is that dude that wants his ball. He wants a ball in his hand.
He does. He wants
to take control. He wants to take control of the game. Who else does that? Kawhi, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? Like great players.
LeBron, he does.
No,
He takes the last shot.
LeBron don't want the last shot. Come on now.
He's run away from so many freaking
LeBron don't want the last shot. Was that a joke?
No, but you know LeBron is gonna down the stretch. They're going to him, and they're letting him do something. You know, that's what I mean. Like Carl Towns is a great player, but he doesn't. He reminds me almost of Pippen in a way where he when the moment's on, like you take the shot kind of guy. Yeah. And Anthony Edwards is like, give me the freaking ball.
No,
get out of my way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he can dish it too. He can dish it out too. I mean, he's an all-around player, and he plays defense.
And people don't really know about him because he's in Minnesota. If he was in New York or he was in Boston or he was, people would know who he is.
Right. And he comes out of Georgia. What Georgia basketball player can you ever think of, honestly?
Well, you know why he went there. They had NIL before NIL, bro. Come on.
Yeah, well, no doubt. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? When you look at players,
I thought he was going to go to Florida State out of high school. I remember his recruitment. It was wild. But I think he went there. I think he played for Tom Crean when he was there, who was the Marquette and Indiana coach. So I think he kind of had an in somewhere with a coach or something like that. Whatever. But yeah, Georgia. That's funny.
Yeah, he's a Bulldog. Oh, what was that guy? Right. Wasn't the kid who broke his leg? Was that? No, it was Louisville. Never mind. That was Louisville. What was that kid's name? Anybody remember that kid's name that broke his leg?
I should remember it, but I have so many names in my head.
That was one of the.
What team did he play for, you said?
It was Louisville. It was probably it was a Rick Pitino team. It was probably one of the.
It was the one that had J.R. Smith's brother on it.
Yeah, that was one of the nastiest.
Did they have Donovan Mitchell? Did that Louisville team have Donovan Mitchell?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I don't recall, to be honest with you.
Talking about Kevin Ware? Kevin Ware Jr.?
Yes, Kevin Ware. Wow, that was nasty. That was disgusting. Like, that made me cringe, honestly. When I watched that, I cringed.
Players were crying on the court. Like, it was a really surreal scene. Surreal.
Man. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. You're not bringing it up, are you? Are you bringing it up?
No, right, cool. You just said you don't want to talk about it. So I was looking for it, but I said, nah, I'm good.
Let me tell you, Smitty, if you sat here and you watched that, you'd be like, oh man, it was just like, it was a cringe, man. It was a cringe. Yeah, it was a cringe. Yeah. But yeah, hey, NBA playoffs are coming up on us pretty soon. Obviously, while we're on the basketball talk, our beloved UConn Huskies, sorry, Smitty, our beloved UConn Huskies.
Cool. I get it.
Actually, my beloved UConn Huskies, because Kev's a Tar Heel, and you are. What's St. John's mascot now? Anyway, what are they?
I don't
Rick
know.
Pitino,
I don't even
white
listen.
suit.
Red
what?
Storm.
The Red Storm. The Meta World Peace St. John Red Storm, or whatever they are. Who knows? God,
it is, man.
Who was that coach? Lou Carnesecca, right?
Yes, sir. With the sweaters.
Lou Carnesecca.
With the sweaters.
Listen, I can go back a little bit in the Big East, man. Don't sleep on this guy over here.
With the sweaters. Mark Jackson, Chris Mullin. Bro, that's a long time ago. Go ahead with your UConn Huskies, man.
Oh, UConn.
They were good under Mike Jarvis, too.
No, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah, Mike Jarvis. There you go.
Eric Barkley and those guys. Remember Eric Barkley? He was a great college player.
Yeah.
Who was that little quick point guard, number 10? I can't think of his name. He was a slasher. What the hell was his name? Anyway, they weren't that good. Yeah, they weren't that good. I'm trying to think in the early 90s, they were pretty good, though. They had a really God.
And Jarvis and Calhoun hated each other, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Always. But anyway, the Huskies, they took a brutal loss. Absolute brutal loss at Creighton. No. Not for nothing. They obviously the standings came out this week, and the Huskies went from 1 to 3, which is fine. Who cares? It doesn't really matter.
You're still the best team in the country.
I learned that on the Facebook page when some guy started, going after me. I'm like, bro, I didn't even say anything. Like, I love the Huskies. I love them.
I know. That's why. Listen, when I read that, I was like, "What is going on here?" You know what I mean?
Man,
You tagged me in
so-
that. I'm like suspended so much on Facebook. I got to see if I can even comment.
Yo, then my boy Crocker says, "Get him." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? Who you getting?" I'm not talking about the Yankees. I'm talking about the Huskies. I love the Huskies. Are they the best team in the country? Of course they are. Doesn't
They
matter.
are.
Ranking. No, it does not matter.
No.
Like that game was torture. They could not do anything. If anything, one thing I was really upset about that game was the fact of how many wide open, like I thought I was watching the NBA,
Yeah.
how many wide open 3-point shots that Creighton had.
And
You
they
know-
can shoot as it is. So if you leave them, I mean, they didn't miss at all. I felt like I was watching the All-Star game.
Dude, come on.
And
Let's
UConn didn't play well.
No, they did. They did not. I mean, Klingon got into foul trouble early, and
Yeah.
no matter what anybody says, and it's so hard to say, all right, who is the guy that could make that team go, whether it's Tristan Newton or, I'm not gonna say it's Donovan Klingon, Stephon Castle,
Caravan is really good in big spots.
Alex Caravan. What's the other point? The other guard's name there. Jeez,
Castle, the freshman, is a stud.
No, not him. The guard, the shooter, the other shooter, number 12.
Spencer.
Thank you. He was off,
Yeah.
but when Klingon is off the floor, I feel like that he has the most impact on both sides of the court for the Huskies because he's able to set the screens. And if you watch them move and how many screens they set and the backdoor cuts and the unselfishness of how they play, man, it's basketball. It's so beautiful. Like they are poetry in motion. When they got it going, it is a beautiful thing to watch. And
he impacts the defensive side, right? Because
Tremendous.
he causes teams to take shots they normally wouldn't. And when he's out of foul trouble, he really does do a good job of protecting not just the paint, but like the mid-range as a whole. He's so big. So when he's off the court, it shifts everybody down and they have to play small. And it just, I know they've got a couple guys that are big off the bench, but if you talk about like the guy that makes them go, that's one thing. But I think the most important player on that team is Klingon.
I think so. I believe it.
Yeah.
I really do. He is so good. You know what was cool too, watching them play the other day? By the way, obviously the first time that Game Day has made a trip to stores.
Yep.
That was cool. It's great for the fans. I mean, UConn is the college basketball. It's the mecca for college basketball, right?
Yeah, dude, they're a blue blood.
They are. There's no bigger. There's no bigger university in the country when it comes to basketball. We are the heartbeat of the NCAA when it comes to men's and women's basketball.
Yeah.
But Tristan Newton was an assist and 2 points away from a triple-double against Villanova on Saturday when Game Day was there, and the crowd knew it. He got his 2 foul shots that he made, and at the end of the game, all he needed was that 1 assist. Hurley knew it. Hurley kept them on the court. They're up by like 20 points. Like, what are we doing keeping these guys out there? But Hurley knew what it was. The crowd knew what it was. And when he did that drive and he did the kick out to Caravan knocked down the 3, and then bang, guess what time it is? You already know. Triple-double, baby. And the crowd went absolutely nuts.
Yep.
It's like, you know what? These people that are watching these games, these UConn Husky fans, they are with it. They're intelligent. They know what's going on. They know what time it is. And all I can say is much love to Husky Nation, Husky Mania, because we're here. We're not going anywhere. We're going to run it back again this year. So
they could.
It was awesome.
Hey, listen, quick question for you. You know, I'm neutral. You know, I don't Huskies, but I did watch that game. And my question, that's why I posted that.
What game? The Villanova game or the Creighton game? The game they
what?
lost?
Yeah,
Villanova.
The one that they got blown out.
All right, Creighton blew them out. Yep.
Yes. And my question was, I thought, watching that game, I thought that they did a great job neutralizing Donovan Klingon from what I saw.
Right.
Foul
Does
trouble.
that concern you? Does that concern you as a Husky fan? If they neutralize Donovan Clingan, does it concern you?
To be honest with you, Smitty, Creighton's got a 7-footer, and
He's a
I think it was and he was a stud. There's not many teams out there that have 7-footers with athletic ability. Creighton has one
shoot.
that can shoot. Creighton has one. Purdue has one.
Yep.
And obviously we have one at UConn. He got into foul trouble early, so he didn't spend as much time on the court in the first half as he should have. Definitely a factor in the game. Gave Creighton momentum. It's a tough one because a lot of teams can't put that on the floor, and then we just have too many weapons, and we're deep. UConn's deep,
And
No,
battle
that's what's-
tested.
and they
what's
play
up.
in the Big East, and like kind of like one
And
of the
listen,
cool.
Ray, if I may, I want to answer. I want to go back a little. Rebel had a question: are the Celtics-Lakers rivalry even a thing anymore? There
No.
was a 40, 50-year run, but not so much today. I
Yep.
think we answered that question.
Yeah.
From our perspectives, I don't think the Celtics-Lakers rivalry is even a thing anymore. However, you never know; it can come back.
Hey, if I
huh?
had to argue that though, I think it's safe to say that probably most fans in Boston can't stand LeBron. And when the Lakers come to town, the Beat LA shirts will be out, and we will definitely be screaming to beat the Lakers only for the fact that, LeBron's not a lovable guy, unless you're one of those LeBron lovers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think it's also, that rivalry. I mean, the LA,
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
And that would make it the rivalry. But other than that, the Lakers
Yeah.
stink.
Yeah.
Like, how could you have a rivalry against a shitty team? Like even the Red Sox and the Yankees. Do you think those have been rivalry games? There's been no meaning to any of the games.
No, the
Like,
last time that this
oh,
was
hey,
actually
but,
a rivalry, right?
I'm not excited when I'm in last place if we beat the Yankees. Like, what am I going to say to my Yankee friends? Hey, we beat you. Yeah, but you're still in the shit. You're still in the shitter.
Yeah.
Like, it means nothing. Like, if you're a real fan of the game, like, and you beat a team that's 30 games ahead of you or 20 games or whatever it was this season,
Yeah.
Yankees would have had opportunity to make the playoffs, and you're in the basement, you don't really have a leg to stand on, even if you do win. So it kind of like kills. You still have to have that. You got to be winning. You got to be winning together.
Competition. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's no competition, that's the fortunate thing too about baseball with the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Yeah.
They're always competing for the division. Honestly, there's been a few years, when the Yankees weren't as good. There's been a few years when the Red Sox aren't as good. Then there was the year a couple years ago when the Yankees were, playing the wild card against the Red Sox. And
Right.
that kind of like rejuvenated a little bit, right? A little compression. All right. The heart's beating again. Cool. But yeah, it's hard. Like rivalries are, they're always there, but there's a time and a place to talk about them.
Yeah, but the other issue is that these teams only play twice a year out of 82 games. So it's special when they get to the finals. The closest I remember it that brought me back to when it was, our childhood growing up was the back-to-back finals where KG and Doc Rivers and those guys they played Kobe and Pau Gasol and those guys. And it was back-to-back finals and each split. It was Kobe's fifth. But that's why it just depends that's why I've always loved the Red Sox Yankees. They play a bunch of times. That's just my opinion though. But it's I think that the difficult thing for that rivalry is I think if they played more, I think it'd be a little bit better, but it is what it is. And it's hard to get to the finals, but yeah. The court storming question, you want to touch upon that, Ray, by Randy?
Yeah, of course. I mean, hey,
We're
it's
talking
up
about
there.
college basketball.
Yeah.
This is simple to me, boys. You're gonna have to do something drastic. I don't have a problem with the court storming. I think it's a part of the identity of college basketball and the upsets and everything. I just don't understand where it went wrong. Because when we were all growing up and really, for much of our time on this planet, they would wait, the players would rush off the court, and then the crowd would come on. I don't know what's going on, but it's like as soon as it hits zero, that's dangerous, in my opinion.
There's no
And
water.
so I think the fans should be smart enough and the universities should push it that if you guys want to do this, you got to wait till they get off the court. And really, I just would hate to have that gone. I mean, I know something happened to the kid from Duke, and when something happens to people from Duke, everybody hears about it and everybody wants to change rules. But I mean, this stuff's happened forever. I just wish they were a little safer about it.
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. And Smitty, you can go next on this, but Caitlin Clark ended up with her knee getting banged.
Pumped. Yep.
And that happened the week prior to Filipowski getting smashed. So my thing is this: if it's a number one team, or let's say a top 5 team in the country, and you beat them, or if it's your rival and you beat them, storm the court. But don't, like, some of these court storms are stupid, and there's really no reason to do it. Honestly, there's not. There's not. Smitty, what do you think?
You know where I stand on this subject. There has to be some order. You know what I mean? There has to be some type of order. They can't just let these individuals stampede the courts like that. Somebody's going to get hurt, either a player, either a fan, and that's when, like Kev said, a team that is known throughout the country, they'll come out and they'll say something and then people will take action. Yep. Instead of being proactive, stopping that and maintaining some order, you know what I mean? And letting the fan base go out there, but not stampeding the floor, dude. So anybody can get hurt. You know what I mean?
And here's what nobody's talked about, Smitty, is that I don't know about when you guys played, but when I lost to a rival, I was pretty freaking pissed. And if one of these kids came running at me in my face and told me go F myself or spit at me or bump me, like I would probably end up knocking one of them out. So that's the other thing that they need to address too, is these are athletes. You walk by somebody and you say something, or you do something stupid, or you do something ignorant, and these guys are already pissed because they lost. Like, I'm actually surprised there's not more fighting. And that's what I don't want it to get to. So,
and listen, I hate to sound like an old head. I hate what I am. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna sound like an old head, because nowadays, depending on what type of action is taking place, all some of these kids are thinking of is TikTok, social media. Let me record this. How many hits I'm going to get, how many likes I'm going to get. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on in today's society. Like Rebel is saying, we're in a different society now. Growing up 70s, 80s, 90s, we did it for fun. Now people seem more violent now. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. I think you pretty much hit it on the nail on the head, Smitty. You are an old head, but that wasn't an old head response.
No, that was a good response.
No, it was perfect. And Rebel knocked it out of the park with saying that, people are more violent now. And the question is why are they more violent? Well, it's simple. There's no repercussions for being violent now. Like, you know what I mean? They have fines, like the SEC fines $100,000 for the first fine, $250,000 for the second fine. The ACC, I don't even think fines anybody at all.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 is $25,000 to $100,000 for any kind of misconduct with a court storming. But that's it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not getting arrested. And who's getting the fine? You're not going to fine a college kid for running over another college kid $100,000. You're going to fine the school who knows how much money they made on that game anyway, from the viewership or just from how much money they're making on the season. What's $100,000 fine when they're making millions? It's like, you know what I mean? Maybe it's a dime or a penny. Like, it's stupid.
Booster, and they'll take care of that. It's like
it's nothing. It's a complete joke, is what it is. Yeah. But we really need, like everything else in life, or any, we need something significant to happen in order for it to change. Because somebody said proactive, Smitty, and immediately I thought you said proactive, I believe. And as well as I know, especially in the area that we're in, there is nothing proactive about anything that is going on in whatever field that you may or may not have worked in. Everything is reactive. That's just the way that it goes. And it's unfortunate, but that's kind of the leadership probably with the NCAA and it is everywhere else. Nobody thinks 2 steps ahead. They're always 3 steps behind. And then they go, oh, how do I get back to even again? Well, it is what it is. So it's kind of funny, but it's just the way of the world, unfortunately.
Well, the NCAA is like the kid with a limp in gym class. That's what they must sit in a room and go, let's say something. We'll put something out there that's stupid, and we'll really see if the nation thinks it's stupid. And then if they think it's just a little bit stupid, we'll come up with something else to really make it stupid. Because the NCAA is brutal.
No, it is. It is. Remember the malice in the palace.
I do. That was nuts.
I'm
you
not
remember
sure.
that, Ray? Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I got nothing to say about it. You got something to say about it?
Nah, but I do remember it.
What year was that?
Oh God.
2005. I remember where I was. I remember what I was doing. I remember everything about that night, dude. Oh
well, I figured Smitty would know a little bit more about it, considering, we already mentioned his name earlier, being being alum of the Red Men, Red Storm, Red Gals, Red whatever they are. Meta World Peace, aka Ron Artest, aka does anybody know what he goes by this day? I don't know.
But he was gangster in that fight, boy.
That dude is a gangster, period.
Yeah,
And Jermaine O'Neal punching that fat dude in the white Pistons jersey sticks out in my mind. The guy came on the court and he just came up, and this is like a 7-foot dude. You just see a fist go boom. That was a bad situation.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah. Crazy.
Real bad.
Hey, do we think we're going to see a college basketball video game now? We're getting a college football video game? I mean,
I can't wait for that.
Did we ever have a college basketball game though?
Yeah, but it was never really well done. Like if 2K did it, I might think about getting it if 2K got involved in it. But how are you going to do that? Like you're just going to end up playing with kids that are like, names that it's very hard for some reason to do it basketball. It's easier to do it football.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but
you're going to tell me you're not going to go run with, RJ Davis and Baycott and try to win a national championship?
But I just feel like college football, because of how much work has been done around you could get rosters and stuff. It's wild what you could do with that. I don't know. I think football is more popular.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, wasn't it the O'Bannons that started this whole
thing,
NIL shit, because they were not getting any royalties for being in a college basketball game back in 1990, whatever year it was?
Yeah, well, they also got paid to go there, so I think that was kind of funny, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I think we could agree on one thing, Ray, and I was wrong about this, and I'll say it again. It was better. College sports were better when we knew the kids got handshakes with cash, when we knew they got handshakes with money, and nobody knew about it. It just was better.
Yeah. Well, who was right about that?
You.
Who?
You.
Wait, say it again.
Yeah, you're right about. Listen, I actually think you're right about another thing. I think the transfer portal stuff has become worse than NIL.
Yeah,
I think it's worse.
But I like it. I like it now.
Well, you can get good quick.
Yeah,
real quick.
I don't like that they can play in college football or college basketball till they're like 25, 26 years old. I don't like that aspect of the portal.
No, I think that's terrible.
That's part of the COVID times too, and reclass and everything else. And I don't agree with that. But I do like the fact that it's not working out here. I can't get any playing time because certain programs recruit the best. And you know what? If you happen to slip back because that dude coming up behind you is better than you, you should be able to branch out and you should be able to go to another, power school and try to compete there, because why not?
But
You are who you are. And yes, the free ride's the free ride. I mean,
Right.
these kids go to college for education. That's a joke. But
oh, it's a joke, yeah.
yeah. All right. Let them jump ship. Don't penalize them a year because they're not good enough to compete against the freshmen who just came in. It is what it is.
Or
I like
maybe
it.
they just don't like not every school is for everybody, So,
True.
but
True.
the rule is
Not
so
every-
everybody's clear. The rule is that you can go wherever you want once. If you transfer again, you have to sit out. I mean, they could stop most of this stuff right now if they just made the kids. They could say go wherever you want, but you have to sit out a year. I mean, you really that would stop a lot of it. Some of these kids don't have time to wait a year.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to stop it, they could stop it by just instituting that with, but it is what it is. I just think I just have an issue with the schools sending people to recruit the parents. If a kid really doesn't want to leave, but the parent, it's just so filthy in that regard. They have people hitting them up on social media. There's tampering like crazy. They've got to regulate things, but again, it's the NCAA. It is what it is. We can go all night wondering why the NCAA thinks like they do, but we're never going to figure it out.
They're billionaires and we're not. Smitty, you got
They
any
don't
insight?
care. They don't care.
Yeah.
All right, Smitty, let's get this thing going now. We got baseball, right? I know we talked a little bit of NBA. I know we talked a little bit about some college basketball. We talked some NIL. But I know my man Smitty is all about the next season. All about the next season. It is baseball season. Spring training has started. He saw his boy Juan Soto go Oppo into the scoreboard. Kev, not the Yankee fan. Also, Shohei Ohtani. He made his debut today. Yard. As excited as I can get about baseball this year. By the way, I'm starting to get a little bit more excited, right? The blood flow starting to go to the right area. Things are getting better. I feel a little bit younger. Jordan Montgomery's a possibility coming to Boston. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know yet. But everything's looking good in pinstripes right now. Who is this guy that they're speaking of? This 6'7" monster next to Judge. Who is this?
Spencer Jones.
Who is this
Spencer
guy?
Jones.
How quick? So let me ask you this question. How quick are we going to see this guy in pinstripes, or is he going to be a J-Dom sitting down in double AAA, and then we're going to call him up when we're 30 games out of the playoff race, the pennant race? Is that or is he going to be opening day, day one, getting onto the field player?
We need Nada to answer that, man. We need Nada. It's interesting because
Ray, who are you talking about? Spencer Jones?
Spencer Jones. I don't think he starts on the. I don't think he does.
I'm going to start off. Listen, one thing we're forgetting is about Verdugo. Okay, Verdugo is going to start for the New York Yankees. All right, Aaron Judge is going to be center field, and Juan Soto is going to be right field. All right, Spencer Jones. Yes, the kid is young, but he's still got a long ways to go. Yes, am I buying into the hype? Absolutely, I'm buying into the hype. Because the kid has ability, but he still needs work from the videos that I've seen so far.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier this week in the group chat. We were talking, I think it was Fryer that mentioned that he's really, really, really good. And you can see it. You can see the raw talent. I agree, though, with Smitty. The Yankees they're gonna kind of baby their players anyway a little bit, but I agree with Smitty. I do see some things that he can work on. He's young. He's interesting. I think we could have this conversation and it'd be a really interesting one next year with him. And then we got to see if the Yankees bring back Soto because, I don't know that I don't know. I hope they do. I really do, but we don't know. And maybe, and then we got Stanton as the DH, right? When is his contract up before we even proceed? How many more years does he have left?
He still has a lot. Let me.
Does he?
Let me.
Does he have like 2 or 3 years? Because I can see them if they lost Soto. I can see them if things progress. I could see this, maybe Spencer Jones is in the lineup next year. Again, the baseball guys know a lot more than I do about this, but I think he'll start maybe in AA and then maybe move to AAA during the year, is what I see this year.
Stan's got till 27.
Oh my
So
God.
27. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he still has till 27. So you know what? You're stuck.
But keep in mind though. Keep in mind. See, we're
300.
forgetting about
We're
forgetting about Jason Dominguez too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't forget about Jason Dominguez. And Jason Dominguez, I was reading some articles that he is, hitting the ball. He's progressing with the injury that he had.
Tommy
and
John, right?
he should be back earlier. So that should set, there's going to be shifting around in the outfield too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see Judge. That. I see Judge at one point probably playing left field, and Jason Dominguez center field.
Why not get Judge off the field and just hit him as a DH?
Because of Stanton. And the Yankees are going to play him until he pulls a calf. Hey, Smitty, how many weeks until Stanton is on IL with a calf?
And listen, one of the things that I've seen about, and I've been watching spring training, and I'm going to touch on the Red Sox too, because the Red Sox look good, man. You guys got a lot of prospects.
We definitely have prospects. We have prospects.
With Giancarlo Stanton, I see, not that the guy's been sloppy. I mean, the guy's been a monster all his career. You know what I'm saying? But I think that he's lost some muscle. He looks a little bit slimmer.
No, he lost
hoping,
weight.
Right.
So he stopped
I'm hoping. Say again?
He stopped juicing.
I'll check. But you're all for that. So, anyways, like I was saying,
long juice
or he's taking maybe only 2 cc's instead of 4 cc's or whatever the hell it is.
Ray, you are an expert when it comes to that. But listen, what I'm saying is,
not an expert.
I mean, you talking about cc's and all this shit. I mean, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So listen, but what I'm saying is that hopefully the man is healthier for a period of time than he's been before with the Yankees. You know what I mean?
I got a better shot of being 6 foot waking up tomorrow.
I want to know if Giancarlo Stanton could possibly not strike out 150 times this year.
If he plays 57 games, yeah.
So bad.
I'd like to see 1 year, honestly, 1 year where he's healthy enough, where he gets enough plate appearances. I just want to see what he still is.
You know what? I think that this year, I'm optimistic about Giancarlo Stanton this year. I think that he's got something to prove. After the Brian Cashman comment. If we think back, Brian Cashman said something slick. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what he said about Giancarlo Stanton, but Giancarlo Stanton, he's got something to prove this year. And I think he's going to do all right.
He's the one that made the trade.
Kev, how many at-bats are you talking about to see what he's really like? Like, how many at-bats do you need?
Not even at bats, Ray. I want to see him play 115 games, 130 games. Like, I want to see him play enough where, because they're going to rest these guys anyway. But I'd love to see him play, enough of the season and get in a rhythm. Like, I don't know what he is anymore. We know he's streaky. He's always been that way. He could look like he doesn't even belong in the major leagues for 2 weeks. And then for a week and a half, hit 8 home runs and carry.
You're right.
That's just who he's always been.
So, Kev, let me ask
he's a free swinger.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. He's got 14 years in the majors. Do you know how many times he's played over 130 games out of 14 years?
Twice.
How many seasons? 5 times.
5.
5
times.
times.
He was young too when he did that.
And only 1 time since 2018. All right. 2020 when he played 139 games. Last year he only played in 101 and 110 the year before.
All right. So then I changed my mind. I wanted to play 145 games.
but the guy's still playing. The guy's still on the field. I mean, when you play in 100, it's
They're
100.
paying him a lot of money, Ray. That's a
100,
lot of money they're paying him.
325 million. You know what? Fully guaranteed. But shame on the Yankees for doing that. And honestly, I love them for it. I love them.
Well, and what frustrates a lot of Yankee fans, Smitty, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, is that that was the year that they lost to Houston. They were like a young group. Everybody, like nobody really expected them to be that good. They were so fun. And I thought Girardi managed the team so well because he didn't take any crap. And even though the young guys got pissed and complained about it, he was the right guy, especially for Sanchez, because he held him accountable. And we had reset the book, Schmitty. We traded Miller, we traded Chapman. We got what we thought were young players back, and then we got Chapman back. And so it felt like, wow, like we really reset the books. And I think everybody was like, we're going to sign Bryce Harper, left-handed hitter, wants to be a Yankee. And so I think by trading for Stanton, I don't think any Yankee fan complained at the time. I didn't, because I didn't think the Yankees were ever going to budget. I just thought that they were going to be the evil empire forever. And so if you told me now that when they made that move that they wouldn't sign Bryce Harper, I would have said, don't make the move, because he was always hurt then. And he came off an
you're right.
deal. So that's just my take on that. I don't know if you'll agree.
No, that's a great point. That's a great point. It's funny that you mentioned Bryce Harper because Bryce Harper right now is the heart in Philadelphia. I mean, that guy has changed, in my opinion, and from what I've seen in Philly. You know what I mean? That guy has changed the culture as far as baseball is concerned in Philadelphia with the Phillies. You know what I mean? And I respect him. He's come a long ways as far as a player that he is. And also Manny Machado. If you was to ask me Manny Machado back in the day when he played for the Orioles, he reminded me a lot of A-Rod. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now he's more of a mature veteran. You know what I mean? Right. But just when you said Bryce Harper, yeah, absolutely. You're right.
But that's 100%. What the thinking was at the time, Schmitty, is that we were going to try to sign them both. Mm-hmm. Like that's what everybody was talking about. Like we reset the payroll. We got these young players that aren't on these big contracts. And now we're going to go get Machado and Harper, and we're going to go out and we're going to compete and we're going to hit home runs. And, and Machado, I mean, some of these guys can hit. So it's not all power or bust with them. And I just think the way that the Yankees have approached their payroll and competing, I think Stanton takes a lot of heat because they, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was Cashman, but somebody said, look, we made the move for Stanton. There was no need for Bryce Harper. And that's when I started to worry as a fan, because that made it sound like, and that contract was long back then. So I think that kind of factors in to why Stanton gets the hate, but I just want to see him play enough where I can see what he is. Is he still that guy that can carry it for a couple weeks, or is he just an older guy that's broken down and is going to strike out all the time?
Listen, I mean, I agree 100%. Of course, it's spring training. As a Yankee fan, I'm optimistic about my team, but there's a lot of, what ifs. Right. Rizzo with his back, DJ LeMahieu. These guys are getting older, you know what I mean? And I mean, these guys, to me, they're contact hitters. When it comes to DJ LeMahieu, Rizzo, Volpe's coming up. I see him having a good year with his speed, and he's developing. Yeah, he's developing, Verdugo. It looks like the chemistry, if you guys look at spring training games right now, the chemistry, it appears that is different. There's a different vibe when it comes to the Yankees, you know what I mean? And I see that, hopefully they'll bring that in and they'll be successful this season.
And boys, here's the other thing. Verdugo, Gleyber Torres, Soto, contract years. Contract years. And baseball players over the years in a contract year, usually like studs like this, usually have monster years. But I still think the Yankees need another pitcher, Schmitty and Ray. I do. But I don't think that they should overpay for Snell or overpay. But here's the thing. Like if you want to go get a major pitcher, like I know we hear the name Cease, right, from Chicago. All these dudes are going to want who? They're going to want Spencer Jones. So this is where, like, Yankee fans, I know we all get pissed at Cashman, but like if you've got one of these dudes coming up that legitimately, and I know the Yankees always overrate their prospects, Ray, always. But like if this dude really is the goods, I wouldn't move him. You got to
and maybe maybe it's just me as a Yankee fan, but I think that when it comes to all the other ball clubs, they're going to overcharge the Yankees. They're going to ask for more prospects. Yeah. They're going to request more money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because they are the New York Yankees. You know what I mean? And that's what's going on, in my opinion, with Scott Boras, who's a great businessman. A lot of us see, free agents that have not signed with ball clubs like Snell, Montgomery, all these pitchers and free agents that are still out there. But there's a difference. They want this money. Snell wants some money, like a lot of money. He's already like 31 years old, I believe. Out of those 8 years, he's had 2 great years, Cy Young Award. I'm not knocking the guy, but is he that great for a lengthy contract with the Yankees? I don't know. These are the questions. You know what I mean? When it comes to Snell.
Yeah, and dude, 5 years, $150 million. If that's true, how you don't take that is beyond belief. And I know Scott and Chris disagreed with me, or Brian, or a couple guys on the chat disagreed with me. But I'm going to say this, and I'm truly believe this. If these guys don't sign this week, they are going to, I know everybody says, well, what are they doing at home? They're pitching. They're going to crank it up. They're going to try to be ready for the opener, and they're going to get hurt. And we saw it with Rodon last year. I don't want that. So at this point, I would just, the Yankees are going to hit. I think the Yankees are going to hit better than they've hit in several years. They're very deep. They're very talented. They got a couple stud lefties in the lineup now. Rizzo, actually, I heard today Rizzo is cleared to go, and they're gonna be careful with him. But my point is that I wouldn't just rush, especially if the Yankees really are on a budget, so to speak. I'd be hesitant to give one of these pitchers stupid money, either one of them.
I agree.
The Red Sox, I get it, because you're trying to get better. And I think there's moves that can be made for the Red Sox to try to compete this year, but I don't know if they will. But I'm just saying, I would not rush and pay somebody all types of money. And then especially someone like Snell, I worry about that with his health.
It doesn't look like that Snell deal is very likely right now either.
No. Yeah.
It's kind of fizzling out, reading some reports. Maybe San Francisco, a place Blake Snell could wind up.
That's a good spot too. That's a good organization. Yeah. They'll take care of him.
You hear, some of the teams were San Francisco Giants, the Anaheim Angels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Like I'm not. I admit I'm not.
No.
The only thing I saw on Snell right now, it looked like it's more like a lean towards the San Francisco Giants. But
okay.
I mean, hey, who knows? I mean, you know what? The Yankees have backdoored so many times that it could be another, setup where they're just going to backdoor. That's what they do.
Yeah.
If they want them, they'll pay for them. Hopefully it's successful for once, because obviously we know how a lot of the Yankees moves have turned out over the last 20 years, and they haven't been great. Or they've been great for the regular season. They just haven't come up with any World Series.
Which is it's a major drought. And I think there's fans that say, well, I thought we were all in this year. Like I thought we were just they were going to sign Snell. They're going to sign all these different guys. And even the Yankees have a budget. Like they can't just,
they don't have no budget.
It impacts people in the future. Like if they want to bring back Juan Soto and it's going to cost like $500 million, I'm okay with them not signing Blake Snell. That's just me.
And you know what's another factor is the luxury taxes.
Yeah.
You know, that takes that's a lot of stuff right there, you know. So I get what you're saying, Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Yankee offense looks pretty good to starting the season. I mean, really good. We'll see what you guys get out of the machine this year in DJ. But DJ, Soto, Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Verdugo, Stanton, Volpe, Wells. Kind of a scary lineup to face.
A lot of
Really?
lefties, man.
Really scary, and that's okay because right field in Yankee Stadium is like playing in a high school baseball. It's pretty short, it's little leagueish, and that works out really good for a lefty. Biggest,
we know that Fenway Park is a huge park.
The monster.
Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you, I think I know Pete Alonso is going to walk. He's going to be a free agent. But if the Red Sox, I just think his swing and his power in that park. Oh my gosh!
But why would we want to go for Pete Alonso when we have a guy named Tristan Casas that
you're right?
It's going to be he's a big kid. He's not little. He is a prototypical first baseman. He's somebody
DH.
Nice big target. Our DH this year is probably going to be, dude, I'm not really sure.
There you go.
Honestly, Masataka Yoshida.
Nah, all I'm saying is I just think certain guys just have swings for Fenway Park. And that dude right there, and you know, the Mets, how stupid are the Mets with him? You know?
But he's not, but you know what he does? He hits home runs.
Yeah.
That's what dude, I don't want a home. Like, it's great to have a home run hitter, right? It's fine. It's great. I would rather have a guy that's going to just get on base. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't you have enough of them?
JD Martinez. He's a free agent this year. Bring him back. I'll take him. I'll take JD Martinez at whatever age he is right now. Honestly, I will.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso struck out 150 times last year.
No, I know, but you can have a guy like that in your lineup. What you can't do is what we've seen in New York, in the Bronx, and have 9 guys like that. Right. But you can have one of those dudes in the middle of the lineup that you want to get a couple guys on base, and then where that ball would fly over that wall, my Lord, with that right-handed swing. But you know, I get it. And if the Red Sox really are trying to build through their prospects and kind of redo this thing and make another run, I get it. And that's where patience comes in. But us Yankee fans, we just have no patience anymore. It's been a long time, even for a spoiled Yankee fan.
But I mean, let's be honest here, Smitty, and you can counter off of what he said. I think it's very safe to say, like, right now is the time for the Yankees. Like, it's your time right now. And if you don't get it done again, you failed again, right? Again. As a Red Sox fan, I don't have the same expectations as you. I have not had the same expectations as you've had over the last couple of years, although we did have some false hope, right? We had false hope when we were not a good team and we scored a shit ton of runs, but our pitching was still trash. And they fooled our fans, including myself, and I even got excited.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you still know, like, hey, thank you for taking us to the playoffs. Thank you for that. You gave us a couple extra games to watch, but you guys have the lineup, you have the pitching, and you have to get it done. I can't, I'm rooting right now. I am literally rooting for these prospects to come up and to get on the field, just as you should be doing if some of your players aren't going to work out. Juan Soto.
Oh, absolutely.
Juan Soto better do something this year. He has to.
He's in a contract here.
I think he will. But you know what? You got, like you said, you got that dude, Spencer Jones or whatever the hell his name is. You've got Jason. You got Jason Dominguez.
Yeah.
Like, what are we investing in? So right now, you're investing in right now. Right now. That's what it is for the Yankees. Right now. And if you don't do it right now, you failed again. So
the Yankees better than the Dodgers.
But that's every year, bro.
I know, and I love that part about it. I do, because I'm a hater.
Right.
But, you know, going back and looking at
we all need haters. We all need haters.
Number one right here, kid. Holla at your boy. Holla.
Are the Yankees better than the Dodgers, Ray?
No, they're not better.
They're not.
Nobody's better than the Dodgers.
Now, does it mean the Dodgers will win? No.
No, it's baseball.
But does it mean that they're the odds-on favorite?
100%. Yeah. Listen, the Yankees have been the odds-on favorite, I feel like, to at least win the division, and that didn't happen. But you know what?
They'll do that this year, though. I think they'll win the division this year.
I can't say they're going to win the division. I will not say that. And I said it last year, and I said it the year before. Listen, Baltimore is a problem,
dude, and they have an owner. They have an ownership group that has a ton of money, and they're going to spend, and they're going to be a problem for a long time.
Yeah,
long time,
dude. Baltimore is going to be a problem for years to come. 100%.
I'm terrified of them as a Yankee fan. I'm being serious.
Listen, you can't be scared of anybody.
Dude, Baltimore is loaded with young players that can ball.
No,
I'm just saying, in terms of like you're talking about winning now.
Yeah,
that Baltimore could cause a major, major issue over the next couple of years. I mean, let's just talk this year because we don't know who they're going to bring back. But you're right, Baltimore. I'm not saying I'm scared to play them, but they're good. And so you're right. It's not. I just think the Yankees are going to win the division this year. It's my opinion. I think they're going to win the division this year.
Hey, we're all entitled to have one.
Right. I think it's Baltimore and the Yankees, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But we thought it was the Yankees last year, and we thought it was the Yankees before that.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different because
that's what's going to happen, Kev. No, listen to this. Listen to this. Last year, you guys went out and you made a huge signing with what the hell's the pitcher's name you guys signed last year? I can't even think right now.
Rodon.
Right? So, Rodon, right? Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, whatever.
You signed him. You got excited. You signed him. I was like, shit. I wanted him in Boston. I wanted him. Send him over here. We needed him so bad. And then he's got injuries. Same thing with the guy from Oakland. What was his name that you guys signed? And I love that for you guys. Frankie Montez, right? And I was like, here we go. Yankees did it again. But they didn't do it again because that dude was broken. So
but they should have caught that because his shoulder was best. That's on the Yankees. They made that move. Is he even on the team this year? Is he rehabbing? Did he leave?
No, he's gone.
No, they sent him. They sent him to Cincinnati.
Okay, Cincinnati. Yeah,
where he'll probably be a monster there. Watch.
Yeah. There's no pressure.
There's
no pressure. And you know what? No disrespect to the Cincinnati Reds because they have a lot of youthful players. Ellie, I know you like that name, Ray. You know what I mean?
Ella
Cruz. Cincinnati, they're coming up. They're coming up, man. But my point is that Montez, I see him doing good over there because there's not a lot of pressure over there, too. You know what I mean? And it's a pitcher-friendly ballpark.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm noticing about you, Ray? You really pay attention to the New York Yankees, bro.
I pay attention.
That's what I'm not. Throughout all this conversation, you are bringing up. I mean, you're talking about transactions. You're talking about the moves that the Yankees made. You seem to know more about the Yankees and the Red Sox.
The Red Sox, he as he said, not to stick up for him, and he can speak for himself, but I mean, he just said about the expectations. You know, like if you guys win 88, 90 games, that's like unreal because you don't have those expectations. We have it's now for us, baby.
Ray, but let me help you out with your team, bro.
Smitty,
let me help you out with the Red Sox.
I got this. Trust me. I am not a fool. I am not a damn fool. I got it.
I tell you what, your prospects are looking good, man.
Yeah, but our prospects are also not ready. Yep. They're not ready yet. This is why I said, Smitty, your time is right now.
Yeah.
Your time is right now. 2024 season, the New York Yankees time is right now. It's not 2024 for the Boston Red Sox. It's not. Now,
but every year, that pressure comes along with having that interlocking NY and being a Yankee fan. Is every year. Every year is supposed to be the New York Yankees.
Well, and you do. And you know what? You pay for it every year. You do. You guys put out the money. You dish it out. Unfortunately for us in Boston, the last couple of years, they have not been willing to spend the money. They have not. But they are growing the farm. They are growing the farm. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's what they're doing. It appears that, you know what? We've had a couple draft picks, a couple very high. We got a couple first-rounder prospects that hopefully will be available in the next year or two, to come on the field and produce right away. The one thing that we are still lacking in the prospect department is I don't see any pitching. I don't see that yet. So if I was a Red Sox GM, I'm looking and I am pushing hard for Jordan Montgomery right now. Yeah, the guy's a career 3.4, 3.5 guy, but that is still almost a full run better than everybody we have right now. Yep. We are full of 4.3s and 4.4s and 4.6s. And Christ, Tanner Houck, who was supposed to be a top prospect coming up, is over 5 last year. That's not good. It's not good.
So you have no faith in Lucas Giolito?
Lucas Giolito is a career 4-point something guy. I don't want a 4 nothing.
But
I want
maybe he changes.
Give me a 2.9. Give me a 2.9er. A 2.9er got a lot to
How about Brian Bayo?
So here's the thing with Brian Bayo, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Smitty. Brian Bayo right now, and I'm going to be positive about him, Pedro 2.0. I'm going to be positive about him. Nobody names him that for no reason. 2 years ago, he was a high 4 guy. Last year, he was a 4.2, 4.3 guy. All right, we made improvements. That's all I can ask for. This year, he needs to be under 4. He needs to be in the 3s. He's got to do it. If he can be a 3.9, 3.8 guy, I will take that. I'll take that.
You know how old that kid's going to turn? You know how old that kid's going to turn in May? 25.
23, 4? Yeah, he's young.
25.
He's young. And you know what? That's good because we haven't really had many pitchers that we've kind of had through the system recently.
I think
we got to go back years for that.
I think that your ball club is going to head in a different direction now that you guys got Theo back in there. You know what I mean? And Theo, not for nothing, he knows how to win. He did it with the Red Sox, and he did it with the Cubbies. So I think he'll bring that back in. You know what I mean? Do the Blue Jays win the division?
No. The Blue Jays? Where are they out of?
The Blue Jays.
Are they even a thing anymore? I feel like they missed it. I feel like the Blue Jays.
You know what? That's a team that I see them competing. They'll top compete. 3. Yeah. I see them competing. I mean, Tampa Bay. Let's not forget about Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? Like that division is going to be hard, man. That division, and I know that everybody's saying counting out the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are going to compete too, man. It's a long season. You know what I mean? Injuries take place.
Well, and that's pretty much the most important thing, obviously, is injuries. You got to stay healthy. The Rays lost some players, though. Manuel Margot, they lost Manuel Margot, who was a good, 300 average hitter. They lost Tyler Glass now. They lost the kid that was sleeping with like young girls. That was a huge superstar, Wander Franco. I mean, there were some big losses, honestly, for Tampa Bay.
That's the type of team that we ask ourselves as fans, how do they do it? I mean, you look at the stadium, nobody's there. You know what I mean? Some of these pitchers that come up, they have their farm system, they bring them up, and they find a way to win games. You know what I mean?
Counting out the Rays. Rays is a terrible idea. This is the type of year that they ruin somebody's season. When we always do this, and we're like, they look like they're going to finish at the bottom, and they're always a pain in the neck, and they're always in it. Always.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. This is relatable to the Tampa Bay Rays. How much pressure do the players have playing in Tampa? 0. They got nothing. There's no pressure down there. They just get out there and they play in a ballpark with about 500 fans. You know what I mean? They're not in the Mecca. They're not in Beantown. They're not on Lansdowne.
Yeah,
Come on.
well, yeah. I never really thought of it that way. I actually thought of it the opposite, Ray. I thought of it like I'm a professional athlete and I'm playing in this ballpark and nobody's here. Like, how much does that like? They could go up the road into Tampa and they could go to a high school game on Friday, and there's more fans at a high school football game on a Friday than there is against Tampa against pick a team, Toronto, whatever. It's weird. The Red Sox and Yankees packed that ballpark.
Yeah,
That's it.
No doubt. No doubt. So, looking at the Tampa Bay Rays projected lineup, right, for their pitching staff this year, you have Zach Eflin, who was pretty good last year. Aaron Savale. We'll see how that goes. Zach Little, Ryan Pepio, Taj Bradley, and Shane Boss, who is currently on the he's injured. He's got an elbow injury. He's going to miss. He'll probably be like a midseason guy. But those are their starters. There is nothing sexy about anything that the Rays are. They don't really look like they're going to be anything of much, honestly. I feel more confident with the Red Sox rotation right now than the Rays rotation. I mean, that's if we sign Jordan Montgomery and that, Brian Bayo is going to step up to the plate and be the dude. But the Rays aren't really much to get too excited about. They don't have that pitcher that's going to strike out 200 batters. I mean, not that many teams do. Yeah, not even really 150. Like, that rotation is not good. Tampa's in trouble. Honestly, Tampa's in trouble this year. They're going to be battling. The bottom of the division this year is probably going to be between maybe Toronto. I don't want to say the Red Sox because I'm going to be hopeful. But I'm saying the bottom of the division this year is going to be between Toronto and the Rays. And I don't think that's a terrible thing to say. Honestly.
I don't know, man. Over history, Smitty, I have seen the same thing. I've looked at their lineup. I've looked at the names. They're young. I don't know who they are. And then at the All-Star break, they're in frickin' second place. It's just what they do. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've thought this. They've lost David Price. They've lost all these friggin' guys, all these players, and they somehow are always in it. It's just the way their organization is, and they've got a gazillion young players every year. And when one leaves, somebody steps up, and by June, we know who their name is. It's their. Yep. I'm not saying that it can't happen, and Smitty, you can weigh in on this, but I just can't count them out until I see them out.
Yeah, I mean, baseball. Listen, it you guys know it's a long season. Only time will tell. I mean, the Blue Jays, they're still a good team, dude.
They are.
They're still a good team.
And Baltimore, to answer the question, will do well this year.
Oh, yeah.
No, Baltimore's going to win the division, honestly.
They could.
No, I think they're going to. I don't think they could. I think they have the best team in the division.
Okay.
Did they add a pitcher, Schmidt? Who did they add? Didn't they just add a pitcher recently?
Burns.
Yeah, dude.
Corbin Burns. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
And they have a sick lineup. And they're all young.
Yep.
They're all young.
They have a sick lineup.
They do.
Gunnar Henderson. Rushman.
Yep.
Santander. Ryan O'Hearn. By the way, he can rake. Austin Hayes. Good outfielder. Cedric Mullins. Ryan Mountcastle. Jackson Holiday. Jordan Westberg. That's going to be, I know those names don't sound familiar to most. If you're a fantasy guy, there's about 5 of those dudes that you're going to draft within the first 5 rounds.
No, they have it. No, they have the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, their pitching, yes, has it gotten stronger? Absolutely. Their bullpen, that's what we have to pay attention to.
I agree.
Just like the Yankees starting pitchers. You know what I mean? That's what I would pay attention to. As far as their hitting, that team is loaded, like you said, and they're young.
Yep.
You know?
Listen, Corbin
So-
Burns and Grayson Rodriguez. Grayson Rodriguez, I believe, is under 25 years old. Like, all this dude is going to do is improve. Last year, he had a 3.79 with a 1.21 whip and 170 Ks.
Yeah.
He's going to, I mean, you would assume he's going to get better.
Absolutely.
If he could cut that ERA to like 3.3 something, yeah.
Yeah, no. Listen, I
Will
think
Randy, did you mean to say, will the Cubs be good this year?
the Cubs
Will
could
the
be good.
Cubbies be good this year?
They're going to win the division.
Yeah.
That division sucks. That's the only reason why.
The Cubs will be solid.
The NL, what's that? The NL Central is probably the worst. Actually, it's not the worst in baseball. I think. Could they be the worst in baseball? The AL Central's garbage too, with the Twins and the Indians, like that. They're all
man.
Terrible.
awful.
I mean, Cincinnati. I'm not gonna get away from this, man. Cincinnati, I think they're gonna surprise us this year, man.
How are the
really
Mets
do.
going to do, Smitty?
Oh my God, the Mets.
Somebody thinks
They
the
just
Mets
shut
are gonna be
down,
the worst team in the division.
Huh?
Someone said the Mets are going to be the worst team in the division.
How can you do that?
You know
though, to
what?
the
Between
fans?
them and the Nationals, yes,
But
I do agree
how
with
can
that.
you do that to the fans? Like, they get this guy come in, he spends all this money. He says he's
Yep.
going to spend all this money. They
And
win
they're
over
getting
100 games. They go to the playoffs. They have a bad year last year. The two
Yep.
pitchers got old quick.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they decide, instead of fixing it because he's got all this money, we're going to completely gut the entire team and we're going to build from the minor leagues. Like,
The Mets are like a
I
dumpster
get it.
fire.
Like, you want to strengthen your minor league system. I get
Yep.
it. But like, I mean, I think it's hilarious just listening to like people complain about it, but I just,
Oh,
that must be such a tease as a fan.
Dude, the
Kodai
Mets.
Senga.
Kodai, yeah, he's out. He's
Oh,
out.
yeah. No timetable on his return.
Yeah, he's out. I
You
mean,
think
they're
they'll
already,
trade Alonso?
they should for a pitcher because their rotation is as bad as a Red Sox.
But
We
if
might
they're
even
not
have
gonna-
a better
if-
rotation
yeah.
than the Mets.
If they're not going to keep him and they're building through the minor leagues, you might as well go get prospects that are ready to play.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He must sit there and go, what are we doing here? I'm a free agent. Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
I've been loyal. I've been through a lot. I've been loyal to
That division. I mean, we know that
dude.
Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies,
Yeah.
Miami Marlins, and listen, I have Washington over the New York Mets. I have the Washington Nationals over the New York Mets.
A lot of young players there.
All right.
We all went speechless because we talked about the Mets. We have nothing to say.
No, but while we're on that division, it's pretty clear, in my opinion, and obvious that the Braves are probably going to run away with that one.
Okay.
I mean, is there anyone who would disagree with that?
The Phillies are going to compete.
They're going to compete.
Phillies are going to
But
compete.
I agree with you. I think it's Braves, Phillies, Marlins. They got young players. And then you got the two at the bottom. And the Nationals are a lot further along in the rebuild or whatever you want to call it.
Who
And
the
then
hell
Mets
is
are going to finish last.
who the hell is paying attention to the Phillies? Nobody. They couldn't even get. They couldn't even. They couldn't even get any coverage in their spring training game. There was a meme on there like, who the hell was it? One of their players said, "We can't even get anybody down here to put us out on the map." Phillies
That's
ain't
'cause
gonna.
they're all depressed about football, Ray.
Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Castellanos. I think
Dude.
I think the Phillies would be okay, but I don't think they're going to compete with the Braves. I think the Braves run away with that division. Honestly, the
I
Braves
think
are
they'll make the wild
the
card.
Braves are so good. The Braves are too good. Braves are
What
too
Remember
about
good.
last year when the Braves were really good? Remember last
Yep.
year when the Braves were really good?
Did they win the division?
They won the division.
They won the division. That's what I'm saying. I am
They-
not going to predict the Braves to win the World Series again. I learned that last year. You taught me a lesson, Smitty. You said they got to play the game. So
Yeah.
right.
And
You're
so
right.
do
Whole
the
season is
Dodgers, by
different.
the way.
But moving like, huh?
The Dodgers is on paper as stacked as they are, and they really
absolutely.
freaking are. They've got to have health, and they got to play the games, and it's just the way it is. This isn't like the NBA where you have all these studs on one roster, and it just depends how many
Monster
games they
teams.
feel like winning. I think on paper they're the best, but it's you got to prove it. And they've had a lot of brutal losses in series. And I know they have Ohtani. I think if Ohtani was pitching this year, Ray, I think I'd feel a lot more confident about that.
Yeah.
But because he's just hitting, like I think as a pitcher, he's just a nightmare too when he's healthy. I mean, that just adds to it. But
Well, I think that's the one category the Dodgers are lacking this year is pitching. I mean, you have the addition of Yamamoto. I think he's going to be a problem just based off the fact that he has not been seen. No one's faced him. It's new, and I feel like a lot of these pitchers that come from overseas and they play, they're a problem in their first year, always, pretty consistently. I think that's a fair opinion. Tyler Glass now was a great addition.
Yep.
But after that, you have Bobby Miller, James Paxton. You have Kershaw back, right?
The big maple.
He should be good. Yep, and Paxton. And then Emmett Sheehan. I mean, is there anything that excites you about that?
That's why not having Ohtani in that rotation to me makes it. I still think they're the best team, but if they had him in the rotation, I mean, I think that adds that it'd be so much different. But
yeah, no, I mean,
but Ray, don't forget that Walker Buehler, he's coming back from surgery, and if that kid does good, they'll be fine, man. Their bullpen looks good. They have a closer.
Yep.
Yeah. If you said if.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, it's fair to say that we can say that probably about most of the teams if this guy is good. But you look at the Braves and you see Spencer Strider and Max Fried, old man Charlie Morton, and this kid Bryce Elder, right? I don't think that dude has really tapped his potential. And they added Chris Sale. Now, I'm not really sure.
Oh, speaking of, I'm glad you brought that name up. Chris Sale looked good on his spring training outing.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
And I don't see the Braves utilizing him as a workhorse. You know what I mean? Which is good for Chris Sale. I think Chris Sale will be a great addition to the Braves.
Chris Sale is going to be the 4 or the 5 for the Braves. Okay. He was our 1 last year. Do you understand where we're at? Like, this is my whole argument as a Red Sox fan. This dude's going to Atlanta, and he's going to be the 4 or the 5. In Boston, he was the 1. Like, that is a complete joke and a mockery to being a baseball fan in Boston. Like, that's how dirty they're doing us right now. They better sign Montgomery. And I'll be honest, go sign Trevor fucking Bauer. Just sign him.
I wish the Yankees would sign Trevor Bauer. I really do.
Listen, the guy
I just wish somebody would sign that dude, man. He seems desperate, man. Or if worse comes to worse, he should go back to Japan and just play for a Japanese team if he was doing good over there. You know what I mean?
Why do you hate him?
I didn't say I'm hating him. All I said was that he seems desperate.
He's not desperate. He's been blackballed.
He wants to play for whoever, he said.
If he likes to
said, I'll play for whoever.
Yes, because he's been blackballed. The MLB did that dude so dirty because of something that a woman said that was fulfilling her wants and desires.
And it was proven to be not true, which is even worse.
He was not convicted of anything. Like, give this guy a chance. Some people are into weird shit. I'm not saying,
who's going to give him a chance? You tell me.
Theo Epstein, give Trevor a chance. We need him. We need that.
Do you think his personality would be a disaster in New York?
You know what? I don't even know what to think, Kev, because you
He's
know
a
what?
different dude.
I'm hoping, like if we got him, I'm hoping that he would bring the energy minus some, antics that he demonstrates out on the field that to me they just go a little bit overboard. You know what I'm saying? As far as his personal stuff, court, whatever. Hey, listen, congratulations. You didn't do it. You're not guilty. You're innocent. I'm good with it. You know what I mean? The only thing that I see now is that somebody signed this dude, man. To me, all I see in social media is like, I'll play for free or I'll play for this. You know what I mean? I'm exaggerating a little bit. You know what I mean? But somebody signed the dude, man, or he should go back to Japan and play.
You know
who's going to sign the game that much?
You know who's going to sign him at some
point? The Mets?
The Astros.
The Astros? Okay.
That one
he'll be a pain in the and he'll pitch his heart out.
Yep.
And there'll be a problem.
That's going to suck for you guys.
Yeah. I think we should start. I think the thing is that I think I don't know what the story is, but I thought that Cole and him did not get along. And they're not.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And that was a long time ago. You're absolutely right. I think that Cole now is in a different place where his goal is to win a championship as a New York Yankee. Yeah. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? He could just be putting up a front and saying all the right things. And in the back, in the locker room, he could be like, I still hate this dude. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? But he's saying all the right things.
Well, all I know is you put him into form in the Yankees rotation, I'd feel a hell of a lot better. And he's got a lot to prove. My thing is like when you look at all this, the pitching for the Yankees is what's going to either make or break whether they get to the World Series or not. And if they're worried about money and they could get him cheap, but I just don't know if Cashman has the balls to do that. Even though it was proven that he didn't do what he was accused of doing.
Yeah.
And it was proven. Like it was in text mess. I mean, just brutal. And but I don't know if they have the guts to do that. I can see a team like Houston doing that though, and I can see him being a pain in the neck.
It would be a problem in Houston though.
Randy is asking, who is a surprise baseball team this year? From my point of view, I know this is going to sound crazy, and it's not in the AL East, the NL East. If we're going to the American League, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's the division, and it's the Kansas City Royals. If you look at the Kansas City Royals, yes, it does sound crazy, doesn't it? But if you look at that team, right, they have a young ball club, and he's asking who's the surprise baseball team going to be. I think that with their starting rotation, I think that they're going to come up. I'm not sure if they're going to win the division because you still have the Minnesota Twins. But I see Kansas City coming up second place in that division.
Okay.
I think that they'll be successful, and I think that they're moving in the right direction. Kansas City Royals.
All right. You know what, Smitty? I'll go off of that one, and I'm gonna stay in the same division as you. However, I'm not going with the Royals, and I'm not going with the Twins. I'm gonna go with the Detroit Tigers. I think the Detroit Tigers this year could be that team. They have a couple young guys coming up: Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson. Obviously, they have Javi Baez as well. They got your boy Giovanni Urshela, Mark Cannock.
Yeah, that's right. They just picked them up.
You know, kind of a sneaky, quiet team. Tariq Skubal. They got Jack Flaherty over there now. Kenta Maeda. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I had to, pick a team, I'm going to the shittiest division because obviously we're gonna get them there, right? We got to pick a team that's gonna have a chance. Got to pick the team out of the worst division. So, it's got to be the Detroit Tigers for me. I'm going Detroit. Cav, what do you got?
I'm not confident in this, but I just have a weird feeling that the Marlins are going to be a little bit better than people may think. I know we just talked about how loaded those two teams are in that division. But I think because of how bad the Mets and Nationals are going to be, I think they're going to have a chance to get a lot of wins in those series. And I just think they can pitch. I think they got some good young pitchers. I think they'll. I don't know if they're going to hit enough, but I think that they'll be a lot better. And in the American League, I would say Tampa Bay. Again, I can't count them out until I see them being horrific. Their minor league system is always loaded. They have a system where they draft these players for specific roles and specific needs, and they always fit it together. Their manager's phenomenal. I just can't count them out. I just can't. So I know those are two, but one for each league. I'd say those two teams. The two teams. Yeah.
All right. Oh, hey, you heard it here on the hook. There you go, Randy. Surprise baseball teams. I haven't been to a lot of stadiums, but I can tell you Boston's my favorite out of Boston and New York. Probably because everything surrounding Yankee Stadium is a shithole. And you go around Boston, and Boston's beautiful. You got the city right there. It's clean. I just didn't have that experience at Yankee Stadium, but maybe I was on the wrong side of the ballpark. So
no, it's weird there. Like you get out and you want to get directly to your car, to the train. I get it. Boston is a much better area to have some fun.
Yeah,
it is. We should go. Honestly, the three of us should go to a Sox game this year. We really should.
I like Boston and I like the Bronx. What happened, Ray?
I was just gonna add, Inner Harbor, Baltimore, Camden Yards. I didn't actually go into Camden Yards, but around Camden Yards was beautiful. Awesome. Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
One fact about that ballpark, though, if you take a wrong turn, right, it turns into a different area.
The hood.
Absolutely. It turns into a different area. But my favorite one is in Petco Park, San Diego. That's my favorite part.
Okay. Haven't been yet, but definitely would like to check that out.
That's
and you know which one's nice one too? Lone Depot, Miami.
Okay. You probably get a seat anywhere there, huh?
Yeah, right on the
actually,
right on the
you know what? There was when we was in town, it was Mets, the Mets, Marlins. There was a lot of Mets fans, man. But yeah, you're right. The tickets were cheap.
Too much to do down there, man. Too much to do.
There is.
I mean, when the teams are good, I mean, we've seen throughout history, when the teams in Miami are good, people go. But when they're just there's too much to do, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey. Whew. Man, that was a good show, boys.
That was a lot. We didn't even cover I wanted Kev to inform us, and maybe next week we can do that because I know we're running into that hour. 2 hours actually, right?
2 hours.
With the NFL, the draft coming up and stuff like that, what they're saying about the draft. So I wanted Kev's perspective on that.
Let me get through the combine week and I'll have some good stuff. But I could tell you one thing before we go. I don't like that these quarterbacks are not throwing at the combine. It bothers me. Like, dude, if you can't go and make throws out of pads and shorts I don't care that the receivers you didn't play with. Like, if you're Jaden Daniels and you're Drake May and you've got some questions on film, like, what are you doing? I get if Caleb Williams doesn't want to throw, he's the top pick, but I just don't understand these dudes that have something to prove. And I'm going to tell you one thing. That J.J. McCarthy from Michigan played in a run-heavy offense. I honestly, he's going to throw. That's going to be really interesting to see. Real interesting to see.
I agree.
For Rebel, I have no idea about the Stanley Cup right now. There's too many teams that are in the mix. I don't know. Too many
Bruins, Canucks. Yeah, no, absolutely. I would agree with you, Rebel, but I'm a New York Rangers fan, and the New York Rangers are looking good. I actually saw a couple of games, and one of them was played when they played at MetLife at the stadium, and that was a hell of a game. They got this kid that he's not only good with his hands, literally, Rempe. I mean, that kid could fight, he could box, and he can play the game. So I'm excited for the Rangers. I mean, the Bruins are looking good like they did last year. The Rangers are 39-17, first in the Eastern Metro. Like Kev said, there's a lot of hockey left, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, but that point below by Randy is true. The Bruins have lost some games of late, and they're in overtime all the time. Like they really are. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
come down
I
to
still
the
think
wire.
the Bruins will be a force in the playoffs, but I just there's so much that can happen, and there's so many good teams. I wish more people were into hockey because the playoffs are a lot of fun.
You know what it is too about the Bruins? They're ice cold right now.
They are. They have not played well.
It has not been a good stretch for the Bruins in the last 10 games.
Yeah. Yep. Last 2 weeks have been
But
tough.
maybe that's what they need now. You know what I'm saying? Unlike last year, that they played well all season long, and in the playoffs they ran into a wall.
So dominant.
They were up 3-1, and they destroyed Florida in that game that they went up 3-1. And I am as shocked at how I'm not saying they would have went to the Cup Finals because hockey's different, but to lose in the first round the way they did was just brutal. And they went all in, and they don't have some of these players are on other teams that were important down the stretch. And the question can be made: did we make too many moves? Did we screw up chemistry? I just think they didn't finish. They didn't finish. And right now they're not finishing. They're losing a lot of games close. So we'll see what happens. But good show, boys.
Great show.
Absolutely.
2 hours. Touched them all. Anything you guys are looking forward to this weekend?
Combine, draft stuff. You know me. Next Tuesday, we can go into some of that because it's going to get interesting. Again, I'll say this before we go. There's no way in my mind that the Bears are not going to take Caleb Williams. Eventually, you keep stockpiling draft picks and you keep doing all this stuff and getting pick after pick after pick. The only way I see them moving that pick is if there's something in this kid's personal life that we don't know about, and I'm not going to go there. I just think that he's just that talented. I don't know if he has what's in here, but that's with all of these kids. And that's why evaluating quarterbacks is so hard. And I've watched so much film on these guys. I see great things in some of them. I see great things in Daniels and in May and in Caleb Williams. And then I see some things that I didn't see from some of the greats. And so it is so difficult. It's a crapshoot. And, it'll be interesting to see if the Patriots at 3 go Marvin Harrison, because he reminds me a lot of AJ Green. He really does. And, we'll see if the Giants try to move up or if they take a quarterback. I think they're going to take a receiver. I think Adunze or Malik Neighbors at LSU is a stud, but either one of those guys, but we'll see what happens. This is going to be weird. It's going to be real weird because you're going to see a lot of teams trying to trade up for a quarterback. A lot. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Smitty?
Nice. This is going to shock you, but spring training. I still want to. I'm excited, man. It's baseball. I like these prospects. Pay attention to the prospects that are coming up, different teams. Also, another thing that's going to shock you: Rangers versus Islanders at MetLife, outdoor stadium. I'm interested in watching those games. So that's it. That's it for the weekend. How about you, Rhett?
To be honest with you, I'm not really sure what's going to happen this weekend. I'm really looking forward to see what the Red Sox are going to do as far as some of these rumors surrounding Jordan Montgomery. Are we going to make an offer? And is going to be an offer that's good enough? Because that's really what's kind of like the most important thing to me right now, to kind of keep me intrigued with the Red Sox. It's not going to make or break how much I pay attention to them, but it's going to make me want to be more on top of things. And I would really love for the Red Sox to make a power move on Jordan Montgomery. Bring him in. We could use him. We need him. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to the combine as well. Definitely a little disappointed in some of the players that are not participating. One thing I was gonna say, Kev, as you were talking, and this is just something to think about. No need for a response because I'm ready for bed. Reds, Patriots have the third pick. Let's move back to 9 with the Bears. Okay, give me Justin Fields. Kick me back to 9. Throw me a second round draft pick as well. And then at number 9, I want to go Romeo and Dunze. All right. Give me the kid from Washington. Give me Justin Fields in that trade. And then throw me back at least a second round draft pick. I don't know if that's enough, but that's something that I've been thinking about recently. So I want a senior, a veteran. I don't want a rookie. I want a veteran. Give me a veteran.
Hey, Ray, quick question before we leave.
Oh, shit.
Just one quick question. Jordan Montgomery, is it because he wore the NY and he was a Yankee that you want him on your team now?